I was reading on Facebook earlier about what arm wrestling needs to become better, or more mainstream or big time, and you know, the article was damn near spot on, to a degree. So it prompted me. I needed to kind of get out what I think would help. Some folks, they dismiss me because they see the overalls, they see the fat cheeks, they just think it's a fat redneck. What a lot of people don't realize is I've done show promotions for everything but arm wrestling, damn near it. I was a promoter for wrestling. I did concerts. I've did large parties, balls. I've did plays, musicals, all kinds of stuff. I've got promoting creds. Let's put it that way. Never really went too much into sports other than sports entertainment with wrestling, which I often combined with something like concerts or whatnot, for halftime shows, things like that. So I kind of know what I'm talking about, especially since the legwork that's usually done with show promoting, I don't see that being done a lot with arm wrestling. Typically, you'll see some Facebook posts, but that's kind of preaching to the choir almost, because most arm wrestlers are friends with arm wrestlers, and people that know arm wrestlers. So it's the same information's only reaching the same people over and over and over again. It's not really reaching a new crowd. You're not seeing somebody different, which is something that has to be addressed. Let's see here. When you to address a problem like your promoting problem, you need to learn to promote how other things than arm wrestling promotes. Most arm wrestlers tell you how they got into it. They heard it from somebody, or they watched Over the Top and went looking for it. There's other situations. Like my own personal situation. I actually went looking for something manly and found arm wrestling. I won't get too far into that story. That's a whole other video. But the way it's being promoted is just, it's all on its own, and it doesn't attract fans. It only attracts interested parties such as arm wrestlers to arm wrestling. You've already got to be an arm wrestler to find arm wrestling most of the time. So it really needs a different way. Like wrestling on a local level, wrestling, the wrestlers get out and they hang flyers all over the vending machines and stuff. Everybody's been to a grocery store and seen the wrestling poster. I promise. Because wrestlers get off their lazy asses and they go out and they put flyers up. Somebody, whoever's promoting, they put up the money for some flyers, and they offer a little money for people to hang them up, whether they go to the wrestlers or whether they have their kids do it. Somebody hangs these things up. Typically, when I was doing promotions and stuff, that was me, because I'm cheapskate ass, and it's cheaper for me just to pay for my own gas than somebody else's. Little scotch tape and some flyers I could print off at home. That brought a crowd, and people go, "Oh, that's interesting. I think I want to go watch that." You have your friend who's real good at photography, take some badass pictures. You can really get your show out there. I'm not saying we need to do everything just like wrestling in arm wrestling, but we need to bring in the way it's promoted better. We need to be able to get the word out better, because just your little Facebook post just isn't going to cut it. It hasn't been cutting it for years. I mean, it did give a small boost for a little while, but now, I mean, everybody's got Facebook, and it's not showing everybody in the world your arm wrestling stuff. You've got to go outside of your circle to advertise. Your advertising needs to be public view. I'm not saying go buy a billboard. That'd be nice, but it's fucking expensive. Thousands of dollars just to buy a billboard when you can spend 100 or so hanging up flyers and reach just as many people. No, I'm not saying flyers is the be-all, end-all of advertising, but it's a start, and it's one that we as a community can afford. That takes us beyond social media. Don't get rid of your social media. Keep it. All right? You want that and then some. All right? What we've already got, we just need to build on. Because we've got the Facebook stuff. But don't be too lazy. Hang the flyers. It will do you some good as a promoter. Another thing we've got to work on, all these fucking sissies in arm wrestling. Everybody's bitching about everything. As far as from someone who's done professional wrestling, what I would do to remedy the situation is harness the situation. All these people that are sissies, once we start getting people in the doors that will actually pay to come watch this stuff, right? You have guys that are sissies, they're going to be talking shit, right? Use your social media to show people them talking shit and show people who want to shut them up. You know what I'm saying? It creates a conflict. In pro wrestling, that would be, you've got your heels and you got your faces, and you have conflict between the two, and it creates something people want to watch. You've got these sissies, they want to bitch, whine, complain. Nobody likes that. Nobody likes a pissy moaner, all right? Have somebody that talks shit back to them, and then, there's always going to be pissy, whiny moaners. You can either ban them, right, which gets rid of half your fucking arm wrestlers, and that's not good for the sport, or you can have somebody shut them up, right? Sometimes the whiny ass is the better arm wrestler, so what, right? Sometimes they're not, and somebody coming and shutting them up, that creates a conflict that people want to watch, all right? So don't get rid of the sissy moaners, shut them up, all right? Shut them up on the table, don't go punch them in the face, even though that would be, you could get YouTube gold with that shit, but that's also against the law to go punching people, but you can arm wrestle them. Shut them up on the table. There's too many quiet people. That's another problem I see. There's people that never say anything. They just go, they arm wrestle, right? They hang out at the venue and eat nachos or something, but, whatever they do, but nobody notices. They could be winning every damn thing, and it's hard to notice them because they have no personality. People like me, I can help people with that, but it's really when a person is real quiet, they feel like they're being humble. Sometimes they don't have the nuts to stand up and have personality. Sometimes they just don't have personality. Any way you go about it, find somebody who is loud and smart that uses a personality to help you get out of it. If you don't know a personality, find a wrestler. That is their whole job, is to use personality to woo the crowds. We got to work on some people's personalities, especially if we're going to start bringing people in, because that's where the money is, bringing fans in that will pay to watch shows. Which leads me to exactly promoting. Yes, I do think arm wrestling is promoted wrong halfway. We do need the tournaments, right? Because we need a place for people to go. But we also need a place for people to watch. You know what I'm saying? We need arm wrestlers with personality. We need to get these fucking sissies that want to whine about everything in there. We need to get these people that want to shut them up in there, and this super match format, and get things rolling. Hold on, I gotta pause. Give me a second. I'm back. The niece needed me. I forget where I was at. Oh yeah, the conflict. You need all the stuff we're already doing, right? We don't need to get rid of any of that or change any of that, because we need a place for new people to go. But you also need the show. We need an arm wrestling show. Yes, I think you could easily create arm wrestling shows that you can bring to the public. Just like I'm saying with wrestling, right? Wrestling has a problem. It's hard to get new wrestlers because they don't have what we have, which is tournaments and stuff. Because there's a lot of training involved that isn't involved in arm wrestling. Yes, you need training in arm wrestling, but you can get it in a couple of tournaments, a couple of practices, enough that you can somewhat pull safely. Wrestling, a different story. It takes years sometimes to get safe enough to be a wrestler. So we need a wrestling show, but we also need our tournaments. We need to keep those, and it's easy to keep those because when you get more people that are amateurs coming in, right? That's more money for the promoters to make better stuff for the wrestlers. So we need a show, and we need our tournaments still. All right. So we don't need to get rid of what we got. We need to add to it. Media. Everybody talks about getting TV. We need TV. First, we should start with newspapers locally, right? Advertise our shit in the newspaper. Don't cost much. Oftentimes, a sports writer is really looking for something to write about, especially if you're in a smaller town. He really ain't got shit but high school football to talk about. So he's probably quoting the weekend scores and shit. Oftentimes, you can get in the newspaper just by calling the guy up. Hey, I got an arm wrestling thing coming up. I've done it, right? I made the newspaper just for going to a tournament. Because I called the guy up. Hey, man, I'm an arm wrestler. I'm going to a tournament. You want to do a story? Yeah, come on in. All right. If you got to advertise, it doesn't cost that much. Anybody can buy a slot in the newspaper. Also, there are new up-and-coming magazines, like Muscle Sport Mag, for example. I don't know if they're doing anything arm wrestling, but they could. There's enough arm wrestlers that know these guys. We should be talking to them and saying, hey, man, we got folks like Artem who can take pictures very well. We got like Wes Bjornson who does a good show. We got all these guys. We can get you an article, for your magazine where we can talk arm wrestling and stuff. We could get in these things pretty easy. You just got to nut up and stop shutting up, all right? Once you start getting in the printed medias first, because they're easier to get into, then start talking about your TVs and your other financial backers, all right? It wouldn't be hard to pull enough strings. The problem is, I'm pretty lazy and pretty busy at the same time, so I don't have enough time to go out and do this stuff because I'm constantly busy. I work 12 or more hours a day, damn near every day. I don't even know when my next tournament I'll be able to go to is because I'm working a lot of weekends. Today is my only day off this week, and this is a Monday, I think. It's either Monday or Tuesday, I don't remember, but I'm a pretty busy guy. If I get some time off, I'll be calling people. You better bet. But we've got to work on this promoting thing. We need to promote a show that people can see. And we need to promote it correctly. You can't just put it on Facebook and expect people to show up. You need to get out in the community. All right? Get in the community. Hang those fucking flyers up. Call your newspaper. That's it.